Sports is one of the largest industries in the world today, with over 1 billion enthusiasts worldwide and a fast-growing fan base. Even though some individuals view it as a pastime, many others have made it their line of work. Along with field owners and organizers, athletes and coaches are not the only ones benefiting financially from this sector. Due to the huge demand that sports generate in the market, many people now make their living through sports. Each sport has its own distinctive elements to draw spectators, making it simple for these folks to generate money. We know the sports industry is a huge mine of money, but there are some luxurious sports that are too expensive. And today, we'll talk about the most expensive one, Formula One. So without any further ado, let's dive into the video. There is no denying that Formula One cars are some of the fastest and most costly vehicles on the globe, but do not let all that speed fool you. Formula One is much more than simply mind-boggling speed. Behind all the sport's groundbreaking technological innovations, factors like the components of each vehicle, the personnel on each racing team, and the logistics of each Grand Prix all play a significant role in making Formula One the most costly sport. Many people view Formula One as the peak of racing because it first debuted in 1946. It is not difficult to understand why F1 is the largest and most well-known sports in the world, with a combined TV viewership of 1.55 billion in 2021, and the expectation that all tickets will be sold out. F1 may be the most costly sport in the world since billions of dollars support it. Every year, F1 teams invest hundreds of millions of dollars in creating the fastest car possible. This includes building strong hybrid engines, effective energy recovery systems, and weightless carbon fiber chassis. Before 2021, elite teams like Mercedes invested more than $450 million in building a championship-winning vehicle in only one season. A budget cap regulation was put into place in 2021 to make the market more competitive. The budget for this year allotted $140 million to every club. The cap includes performance-related costs like those for designing and building cars, but not those for marketing, paying drivers, or paying for repairs. However, the cost ceiling amount for 2022 is provisional. It is understandable why the expenses of transportation and logistics are already eating into the budgets of many teams as global inflation soars. F1 is one of the most logistically difficult sports in the world. 532 vehicles and 1,540 tons of equipment are moved across 74,500 miles by road, air, or sea. For a flyaway event, DHL, F1's official logistics partner, employs 5 to 7 Boeing 777 freighters. The majority of the contestants are built or sponsored by the top automotive companies, using their finest technical teams to create the quickest cars. With all this spending, Formula One has not only developed an opulent reputation and drawn an elite following, but also taking part in Formula One signifies an elite identity. These vehicles are expensive. One costs a minimum of $10 million, although most teams spend far more. The annual expenditure of each team is restricted to $145 million due to a budget limitation that was put in place. To be clear, this qualifies as a Formula One team being fiscally responsible. Before it, some teams could spend up to $500 million, with up to $200 million going into just the engines. The majority of spending is on those engines, followed by R&D and production. The infamously wealthy drivers are exempt from the restriction, however, they normally only represent 5% of total expenditure. 7-time former world champion Lewis Hamilton reportedly earns $30 million annually, and that is after taking a wage reduction during the pandemic. The teams go through a huge amount of tires, which cost around $3,000 every set. An F1 car's monocoque is made entirely of carbon fiber. Together, the cockpit and driver's escape compartment are built. The monocoque is worth roughly $500,000, but the team will not skimp on it because the entire vehicle is designed around it and because it is crucial to the driver's safety throughout the race. Fins are a crucial part of the machine. For F1 vehicles, the improved fin design may provide enough downforce and lower drag. The front and rear wings are essential in keeping the automobile stable during turning. Most top teams spend $30,000 on their front wing and nose cone. The production cost of certain teams, though, might be as low as $150,000. The price of a tail wing once the DRS is installed is about $200,000. The semi-automatic sequential gearbox, which is used in F1 racing vehicles, has the purpose of speeding up gear changes. Top hydraulic systems and gearboxes typically cost approximately $200,000, whereas this gearbox typically costs over $500,000. F1 race cars do not run on regular gas. They are all specifically blended even though they are all the same ingredient. An F1 vehicle may use up to 200,000 gallons of gasoline in a single season. Thus, the fuel tank must be dependable enough to support such a high fuel consumption. Additionally, an F1 fuel tank with a 68-liter capacity costs roughly $150,000. The heart of an automobile is its engine. Each F1 vehicle needs a robust and dependable engine since the race demands high and sustained power production. It makes sense that the engine is the most expensive component of an F1 car. The cost of an F1 racing engine typically ranges between $10.5 million and $11.5 million US, depending on the specific engine performance needs of each team. Because they are part of their own family, manufacturer teams like Ferrari, Mercedes-Benz, and Renault typically receive some financial assistance with engine costs, while other customers' teams are responsible for all expenses. The steering wheel is such a little component, but it is a highly advanced gadget that is essential to the driver's ability to control the vehicle during a race. F1 steering wheels cost roughly $100,000 apiece. The reliability of F1 vehicles depends on their cooling systems. During the competition, the temperature of Formula One racing cars rises to extremely high levels. For an F1 vehicle, the cooling system is worth $300,000. The promoters are not given a free pass. Although their hosting fee is kept a closely guarded secret, it is said to be more than $30 million, although the expenses associated with organizing a race can be double that amount or higher. The cost of the circuits is also rather high. The Shanghai International Circuit, which was finished in 2004, cost more than $300 million. Furthermore, the Formula One package is expensive, with U.S. corporation Liberty Media paying $4.4 billion for the sport in 2017. Formula One invented the idea of sports sponsorship back in the 1960s, and today, sponsorship contributes nearly half of the sport's revenue. A pretty exclusive group of companies sponsor the sport, including Rolex, Ray-Ban, VistaJet, Tag Heuer, Richard Mille, Bombardier, Ritz-Carlton, Aston Martin, and Hilton. The sport itself has many of the qualities that luxury brands either possess or strive for, such as exclusivity, prestige, and price. The tinge of risk probably does not hurt either. It is a natural fit for many of them. Prices range from a few $100,000 every season to the reported $50 million. The infamous after-event parties at several circuits also add to the sport's allure. For instance, The Killers, Red Hot Chili Peppers, Robbie Williams, Jennifer Lopez, and Calvin Harris have all performed in the Singapore Grand Prix alone, while Prince, Paul McCartney, Beyoncé, and Guns N' Roses have performed in Abu Dhabi. Of course, Monaco hosts the most dazzling race of them all. For the 3 days of the race in 2022, a duplex room at the Hotel Hermitage Monte Carlo would cost you more than $74,000. Each Formula One team employs between 250 and 950 people, all of whom are experts in their specialties and include engineers, strategists, mechanics, race engineers, and drivers. Given that there are 10 teams, the overall staff size can range from 2,500 to 9,500 people. Think about how much money is poured into each of the other hundreds of employees when the driver alone may make up to $57 million yearly, ignoring revenues from incentives and sponsorships. I hope now you can understand why F1 is the most expensive sport in the world. But can you name some other sports which are not mainstream but ridiculously expensive? The comment section is waiting for your valuable inputs. Hit the like button to show your support for our work. Also, keep in mind to press the bell icon to get updates every time we upload a new video, and subscribe to the channel in order to never miss any updates from us. Also, please share this video with your family and with your friends. We will be right back in the next video. Thank you so much for watching, and we will see you in the next one.